Welcome to PokerFace.
Hello, I'm Ivonne Montealegre and this is PokerFace, a podcast where we talk about life and how the poker skills can help you in life. And my first guest is Lukas Robinson. Hello, Lukas.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Great to have you, Lukas. Tell us, first of all, how did you went all into streaming poker? How do you make that decision?
It was actually my anniversary, 5-year anniversary yesterday.
Congratulations.
So 5 years ago I decided to give streaming a go. Yeah, I always grew up in a family with playing poker. I always remember watching obviously the World Series growing up, and always admired people like Daniel Negreanu and Phil Hellmuth and Phil Ivey, watching them on like high stakes poker back in the day. So yeah, I grew up with it, and because I lived in the Isle of Man at the time, I was surrounded by a lot of poker, kind of similar to Malta, where there is a big kind of poker industry, and it just was like, just do streaming. Streaming was a new thing back then. Streaming poker and getting sponsorships and stuff was a new thing, and that excited me. I always thought to be a poker pro, you had to play the highest stakes and earn millions of dollars. Streaming was a new thing where you didn't have to. You could start it from your bedroom if you have a camera, a microphone, and I wanted to show the poker dream was still alive. So yeah, 5 years ago I started my stream, and it wasn't until, people don't see it, I'd done it for a whole year, and I had like 5 people watching me. But that's when I decided to quit my job and do a challenge, 1,000 hours in 100 days, 10 hours every single day.
That's right. That record is incredible. 1,000 hours in 100 days.
Yeah.
Tell me, what does that imply?
It was a world record. So the previous record was set by a poker player called Ali Shaban. He'd done 1,000 hours in 125 days. And I actually met him before I started streaming, and he told me about his challenge. And I remember just looking at him like, you are crazy. But there was something in my crazy brain that was like, why don't I attempt to do it? And it wasn't until a year later where I just believe things happen for a reason, and there was something inside of me. I wasn't very happy with my job. I wanted to give poker a go, and I wanted to make it in poker, but I wasn't good enough. Like, I earned €5,000, $5,000 that year. So that was not enough to quit my job and go full-time in poker. But I was like, why don't I do this challenge? 100 days is fine. And then, yeah, I set out and planned it all, planned the whole thing. If it didn't go well, I was planning on going back to my job. But the aim was within them 100 days to complete the world record and hopefully get a sponsorship, which happened, yeah.
What does that take from you? Like, weren't you about to break? I imagine it's like walking to the Everest and at some point you are breaking. So tell me a little bit, what are the skill set that actually poker gives you to actually be able to accomplish this?
Well, poker, especially when you play tournaments for a living, it's a lot of ups and downs, just like life, but there's a lot of variance involved. And I'd never really realised that variance in poker because I'd not played full-time before. But anyone that plays full-time, some people can go a year without winning any money, even if you're a good player. So I realised the swings in them 100 days. The first 50 days, I went on a 10k upswing. So I was like, this is easy, and the challenge was getting easier. But then the last 48 days, I went on a 10k downswing. So then I was like, I'm going to be break even. Like, I can't play 100 days and not win any money. And then day 98, that's why I think things happen for a reason. I won $22,000 and I ended up in profit. But obviously, I always say physically, the human body's crazy. That my human body got used to playing poker for 10 hours straight, 100 days in a row. So physically it got better, but mentally it was so hard. Mentally, there was times like I cried on stream one time when I won a tournament, and just the emotions come out on me. I always say, like, I had a friend, it was lockdown, it was obviously COVID time, so you couldn't really go and do much. I was based in the Isle of Man, and so you couldn't go. You could only go out the house for 30 minutes at a time for a walk. They were the rules and regulations. So
would you say that COVID has boosted online poker?
100%, yeah. So I created the challenge before COVID happened, and obviously COVID was a very hard time for everyone. But because everyone was locked in the house, no one had really anything other to do than watch YouTube, watch Twitch, watch TV. So when I started the challenge and announced the challenge, my numbers were crazy, and that's what obviously got me noticed in the poker world. Yeah.
And this is what you do on a full-time basis in poker, and streaming poker is your life.
Yeah. Yeah, full time now for
How,
4 years.
do you
Yeah.
manage to balance that kind of introvert life into a more balanced social life as well?
Well, that's why this opportunity with Sigma to work with the live events. I played online for a good 4 or 5 years, and now I think it's time to delve deep into live poker. I'm starting to fall in love a lot more with live poker because online's my bread and butter, right? That's where I feel most comfortable. But like you said, that's why I like streaming, because you have the social aspect of it, where people come in your Twitch chat and you can like speak to people, but I don't hear voices, I don't see faces. So at live events now, because I'm a very sociable guy, I look forward to these like Sigma events, like going to Brazil, for instance. Like I've always wanted to go to Brazil. Like I'm a big football fan, so going to Brazil, for me, it's the home of not only football but poker as well, because like when I play against the Brazilians online, they are some of the most respected and best players in the world, so I'm super looking forward to that.
Your name is associated with a lot of this poker community feel and this kind of feeling of belonging to something, to a larger community, which is the poker community. Where do you see poker going? Where do you see Sigma making this kind of difference in the poker vertical?
Well, I just think poker's booming. If you look at all around the world, live events online, the amount of like new poker sites, the new poker events that are either starting off or peaking, like every main event that you see in live poker is the peak numbers. So I think like you said, going back to COVID, that's what helped it, because people, I think, discovered a lot of home games when they were online, right? A lot of the sports kind of obviously was off, so people were like, right, let's give poker a go. And obviously we had a lot of home games online, and that made people discover poker. And I think now people are getting a bit more confident to go to these live events, and it just excited me, these Sigma events. Yeah, I just think the possibilities are endless. I think that's what I can't see an end goal, and when you can't see an end goal, it was like the challenge, like then the possibilities are endless. So to go, obviously we're going to an event in Brazil and doing Malta, and then after that, who knows.
Lucas, you've been appointed as Poker News Ambassador and recently as Sigma Poker Tour Ambassador. Are you looking forward to any tours, any stops? What's happening in 2025?
Yeah, for me, that's why I love working with Poker News, and that's what excited me about this. It's just like, it doesn't limit me to working with only one brand and one either online poker site or one live kind of event. As a poker player, it's all about kind of like the best poker players that I know go to all different live events, play on all different online poker sites, and basically playing obviously all the best events from that. So this is what excites me about this, is obviously adding more live poker events, and hopefully I can help kind of obviously branch that out, help it with the community wise, help it with the ambassadors. Yeah, that's what excites me.
So during Sigma Poker Tour Brazil stop, you're going to be creating content. Can people approach you, ask you questions, take photos with you, selfies?
100%. Like I said, since Game of Gold, that's been a weird thing, is people coming up to me and asking me for selfies. Yeah. Because I get people that know me, and like hopefully you can get a kind of just from this podcast, I'm just a normal guy.
You're a total poker celebrity.
Nah, but that's what I like about it. I never want to be a celebrity, because I just want to live a normal life. But poker, you can kind of feel a little bit of a celebrity at live events, but outside of live poker events, it's fine. It's normal life. So
you heard it here. Lucas is going to be at the Brazil stop, giving us all a great time. And yes, I'm looking forward to that event as well.
Yeah, like I said, if you want to come up to me, we'll take a photo. I want to do loads of content with the Brazilians over there, and obviously non-Brazilians. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, everyone is excited that you're coming, and it matches a lot with your image and your message of community poker, because I've watched your stream, and it gives you this feel of community that we're all admiring about you.
Well, that's what I liked about this opportunity, both with Poker News and Sigma. It allows me I've built up this community now on Twitch for 5 years. Now let's take it to live events. Now let's build the community, and I'm proud with building a positive, friendly community. There's some days where people come in and they're having a bad day and they're struggling in life, and like in my Discord channel, we've got a mental health section where people can post, and if they're struggling in that day, people can help. So
that's beautiful.
For me, that's what I wanted from day one. I wanted to build up, and I'm so proud of the last 5 years I've built that, and hopefully we can continue this at live events with Sigma.
Fantastic. Lucas, tell us About live poker, what is your most memorable experience at a live poker event or in live poker in general?
So what sticks out is, for me, the WSOP main event is the biggest tournament in the world, and playing that for the first time, I played it for the first time with my dad. So
You played it with your dad. I read something about it. Amazing.
That was our dream. So that was on our bucket list to do. So we done that together. He always says he cashed and I didn't, so he has that over me. But I was on this like TV show, Game of Gold, and that was live poker. That was on the show, I was the youngest, I was the least experienced. To be honest, under the camera, I was never played at a live event in cameras and a big final table. I was playing against Daniel Negreanu, my idol.
Exactly, with all these pros, that very seasoned players on camera.
The biggest names in the world. Maria Ho, big number one female poker player. That's what stands out to me. It was like, wow, okay, this is the top. If I want to make it to the top one day, but that experience of playing against them guys, I loved it, and that's why I want to play it. I think that's what made me start to fall in love with live poker, was like, right, I can see this now. Yeah.
But did at some point you felt like the pressure was too much at the show?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And even I watch it back now and I'm like, I can't believe that was me. Yeah. It was like, I'm sat there playing against Daniel Negreanu, my idol.
Do you watch the Game of Gold episodes?
Sometimes, yeah. A nice story is my granddad just recently passed away, and
sorry to hear.
Nah, it's okay. And he loved poker, and he was so proud. This is why I do it, just because like seeing my granddad so proud of me. Like he
it
played,
runs in the family because play, your dad play, your grandpa plays. That's
so
incredible.
my granddad had a stroke a few years ago, and he didn't really fully understand things. Like on the TV, he had to have subtitles, and when Game of Gold was on, my uncle and my dad put it on for him, and he was sat there watching it, and he really understood it, and he was like, "That's Lukas, that's my lad." And my uncle said he was just sat there crying because he was just so proud. So for me,
it's a beautiful story.
Yeah, beautiful story, and that's something I'll just never forget for the rest of my life. And this is why I'm not only obviously making my friends and family proud of this, but it's something I love, and I just want to bring fun to the poker industry. And like you said, the possibilities are endless. The people that we can work with, the countries we can go to, it just really excites me.
What would you tell a young streamer like you were? Now you're a seasoned poker streamer, even a record breaker. But what would you tell this young guy that wants to start streaming games, and it's just such an unknown career path?
That's the thing, it's unknown. But that's what excited me. I always say, like, I think most people, unfortunately, are scared to take that leap, are scared to take that risk. I'm the opposite. I'm scared to not take that risk. Like, when you come to me about this opportunity, it's like, no, that excites me. Like, I'd be more scared to be like, in a few years' time, and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done that. Like, if I wouldn't have quit my job and done the challenge, I wish I would have maybe saw someone else do the challenge, and I wish that would have been me. You know what I mean? So I think that's my attitude, and that's the attitude I think hopefully most people can take. And maybe because it's when you've got, especially when you've got a family and you've got kids, and it's hard to want to quit your job and kind of go for your dreams, but you don't have to quit your job and go for your dreams. I quit my job because I was 22 at the time and I was living from home, right? I didn't have many risks involved. But I always say, if people want to give poker a go, do it part-time, like maybe do it outside of your job. What people don't see is I was doing it for a whole year, doing a year 9 to 5, and then after my job, I was streaming in the evening time, sometimes till 2, 3 a.m. I was having 30-minute lunch breaks, and I was sleeping on them lunch breaks because I was that tired. And that's what I did for a whole year. And that's
streaming is not easy.
No. Especially to get discovered, because
older generations tend to think that social media management and streaming is so easy, and for lazy people, it's really time consuming, and you have to be really, really disciplined.
Especially for a year. When you're doing it for a year, you're not getting any sleep. I was not having any time. I think back, like, I was having no time with my girlfriend, no time with my friends. I was like, how did I do that? But that's the stuff you've got to do. You've got to make them sacrifices. I always say, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And poker's not easy, and not everyone is doing it. So just like, not just in poker, if you have a dream, like, I just think you live one life. Like, go for that dream, and if you do go for it and it doesn't succeed, you can always say that you've tried. That's my motto and attitude anyway.
It's a beautiful philosophy, and it ties up really well with poker, where you have to be in control of your emotions. The hardest thing is the losses, right? I mean, when you think that only 15% of tournament players make in the money, it's very slim. How do you prepare for a big poker tournament?
It's a good question. Yeah, I've started adding stuff in like cold showers and like meditations and like sauna and stuff like that, just to get the edge, because I think now in poker with all these solvers and there's people and there's super intelligent people now in poker. Back in the day, it was like, I think poker players, like the idea of a poker player was cigar, was like everyone smoking, drinking, cocktails, James Bond cocktail, you know what I mean? Nowadays it's not like that. It's like you go to Vegas and the top players in the world, they're all locked in, sunglasses on. It's hard to have edges, so any edges that I can do as a poker player like that. So obviously when we go to Brazil, I'll be in a good routine, go to the gym, eat healthy, and that's what obviously works for me. Other people, it may not work for them, but I always just say whatever works for you. Yeah, and especially now, because in poker, like I said, to get the edges, because there's so many good poker players in the world. But I always say, like, people go, I tell bad beat stories, I got unlucky. The best players in the world are the ones that have worked the hardest. That's guaranteed. And that's what I love about poker. The harder you work, the more you will get out of it. And that's what I've done the past 5 years, and that's what I'll continue to do. So that's when people are like, oh, he's just a lucky poker. No, it's like in any industry. People think people are lucky. Now they've kind of, it's this good, same with the challenge, it's this good balance of like working hard. And then obviously you do need the luck, but hopefully then that comes in together to be successful. Yeah.
Lucas, so tell us, prior to the Brazil stop of Sigma Poker Tour coming in April, where can we find you online? Where can we follow you? Yeah,
so my name's Lucas, but I'm actually known as RobinPoker. I get that from my surname, Robinson. There's a long story behind that. But yeah, I'm RobinPoker on everything. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. So yeah, that's where I'm going to create content at these live poker events for Sigma, and I'm super excited.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us in our first podcast. We are very appreciative of all your hard work. Welcome to PokerFace.